we've talked about before about the concepts that not only are exactly linked to Brexit, mainly it being, of course, the levelling up agenda and, of course, the global Britain agenda, many times on this channel before. Of course, global Britain is, oh my God, we can become this amazing trading nation. We'll get rid of all these terrible, trade barriers to trade, and we'll be an amazing, trading nation like we were in the past. Oh my God, it's going to be amazing, But of course, it's linked with a lot of free market fundamentalists, the idea that we can just reduce our tariffs to zero and somehow everyone else will go along with this. And as I keep on reminding you, we've done this before. We did this in the Victorian era. And they didn't work. What ended up happening was Britain's farmers, and obviously at the time it's very, shall we say, upper class, but very much linked to farming. Cheap corn and wheat started flooding from America because of these, no tariffs, and the upper class had an absolute hissy fit because, again, it was large in part by these free market Austrian economists who said, "Oh my God, this is going to be amazing. This is going to be fantastic. This is going to make the world, the British Empire, the richest country in the world." Remember, the first great, Alexandria Palace, the big glass, museum exhibit piece for the first ever world show, was designed to convince the naysayers that doing this was a good idea. Ironically, it was the Brexit of its time. The grand project lasted 6 years before they started to change the rules back. And ironically, here we are 6 years into Brexit with nothing to show for it, with things getting steadily worse, and Brexit being a massive push on worsening many of the problems that we are facing. So today I want to take you over to a piece in The Atlantic, and we're just going to read the last part because it really just goes to show you how bad levelling up really has been. Johnson has failed. Even if he gets another term, it's levelling up is too late. He's failed. He hasn't produced the amount of money needed necessary for it. He won't change any laws, any tax codes, do anything that would actually fundamentally change the root and stems of these problems. And even Labour isn't really thinking big enough about this. And I wish they would, but I've talked more before about how Labour needs to be more aggressive, be more positive, be more dynamic in itself, and not be afraid to be radical when it comes to thinking of solutions to these problems, because the problems we face in this country need radical solutions and radical rethinks to the way that we do things, because it is very clear that the status quo hasn't been working. And of course, the Conservatives very much have destroyed, the economy through their own, austerity, Brexit, their own economic plannings, the fact that they just cannot seem to plan ahead, and they're just constantly reacting and firefighting to so many problems that we are facing. We need real vision, we need a plan, and we need to act on it. So anyway, we're going to go over to The Atlantic and go through this piece. The full piece is, let me just get to the top. Hang on. The full piece is called Britain's Unbridgeable Divide. And to be honest, it's well worth a read. It's by Tom McTagg. I think that's how you say it. Definitely well worth a read. But we're just going to go over the last part of it because I think this really sums up just how bad we've become, how bad we need change, and how desperately we really need some radical change in this country. So we're going to go diving deep into this. So here we go. The truth is, it's already too late for Johnson's levelling up agenda. It may even be too late for the next government, because not a single potential Conservative leadership candidate nor the opposition to the Labour Party has developed any kind of strategy that might significantly shift the fundamentals of the British economy. Brexit represents the single biggest upheaval for Britain's economic model since it joined the European Economic Community back in 1972. Yet, the government seems to be largely attempting to hold the line, not only under worse circumstances. Today, no political party seems to be generally considering changing the Bank of England's mandate, or even overhauling how the economy is run by the government, building a rival to Heathrow in the north, or even relocating a single national museum over to the south, from the south to the north. No party says the greatest cities of the north should be connected with transport networks the size and the shape and scope of London's, or even recommends completely different tax, planning, investment rules, either for the country as a whole or just for parts outside the southeast of England. Nothing radical has ever been put forward to prioritise northern growth, pursue different economic strategies, overhaul the regulatory environment, or even a tax system, or do something transformative. Instead, parties propose the most minor, insubstantial tweaks to a basic settlement that already exists and has always existed and has been failing for much of the country, leading to 2 successive votes against the status quo. So the article goes on, but I think it's easily the biggest point it makes. Levelling up has failed. Why has it failed? Well, again, it's partly because it's again linked to Brexit, and because again, Johnson in 2016 and 2019 offered change. He said to the people in his proposal, I am going to change this country for the better. This is how I intend to do it. Well, he didn't exactly say how he was going to do it. He just said, level up Brexit and global Britain. And well, we've seen how far those, shall we say, slogans actually went. Continuing these ideas, these proposals, they're not going to go well. Ultimately, Brexit will end up being reversed. It's only a matter of time whether we just end up going back into sort of the single market customs union and eventually back into the EU further down the line. Ultimately, that is probably what will happen. But unless we seriously start to see some really radical plans, some serious radical changes coming through, then the North isn't going to get leveled up. It isn't going to get, Northern powerhoused. Nothing is going to change for the people in the North. And ultimately, that will be Boris Johnson's legacy. So, as always, thank you very much for watching. Please remember to hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And of course, down below, there are links to my Patreon page and a one-off link called Buy Me Coffee, where you can buy me coffee. And as always, thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.